All right, guys, here's part two of what I've learned after 3,000 rides. And guess what? We are about halfway done. So thank you so much for sticking with us. We were on the subject of having bad customers and how to keep them out of your car. If someone does get in your car and they're being obstinate and like, hey, I don't care if I have 6 people in your car, drive. You know what I would do is I would say, you know what? I'm going to ring this up as a no-show. It'll cost you $5 and you're going to have to get out anyways. Or, worst case scenario, you can just call the authorities, call the 911, and I guess you could report someone committing fraud against you. But that would be probably a little unnecessary. Another way I avoid getting this problem of too many customers, I use the app to text message them, and I have a copy paste message that I use, and I just say, hey, this is Adam, your driver. I'm whatever it is, 5, 10, 15 minutes away. Please let me know if you have more than 4 passengers. Thank you for using Lyft. Or I say like 4 passengers total, because sometimes they're not sure if you mean yourself. So let me know if you have more than 4 people total. Thank you for using Uber, whatever it is. Send that to them. Usually you'll get a reply. They'll say, oh no, it's just me and a friend. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. And that opens the communication. I've actually had more people tell me they appreciate me sending them a message to establish contact than I have had people be annoyed by it. I've never had anyone say that it was annoying. Everybody's usually happy that I'm reaching out to talk to them. All right, so another thing, you get open alcohol containers. Of course, that's never allowed. You don't want to spill, you don't want to ticket. I like to just put closed alcohol in the trunk. The trunk is my first suggestion. If they want to hold on to it or put it on the floor, that's fine. However, I just had a customer, this guy named Tim, and he was with his girlfriend, and Tim was holding like this satchel, this like a burlap bag with a bunch of glass bottles in it, and one of them broke, and it was some sort of like a margarita mixer. It went through the bag, through my seat cover, and onto my seat, and so I just had an $80 cleaning fee today, which of course Lyft will reimburse me if they work out a charge with the customer. So when you do have an issue like that, within 24 hours, you're getting photos of the damage. I do it right after the incident. Get photos of the damage, either write down or get a screenshot of your customer's name. That makes it a lot easier. Or if you don't remember any of that information, at least get the start and end points of your trip. And then you can use that to help the company. With Uber, you're going to email them, and that will have that at the bottom of the video. With Lyft, you'll call the 800 number for the support down there. So that's how you would reach out to them. But within 24 hours, you want to let them know what's going on. When this happened to me last night, I actually gave them 5 stars because they were really nice people. It was an honest mistake, and they owned up to the mistake. They didn't try to say it was somebody else or that they didn't do it. So I gave them 5 stars. But if you have a bad customer, like the overcrowding or something like that, and then they're being rude about it, just give them 3 stars. You won't see them again, or give them 2 or 1 stars. So I've done that a few times. There's no shame in that. You don't want to give them 4 or 5 stars, because then you're passing off a bad customer to the next driver, and the next driver is going to be like, how is this person 5 stars if they're being this rude to all the other customer or drivers? So don't give someone 4 or 5 stars if they really are obnoxious and they're a bad customer, because you're just going to make it hard on the other drivers. All right, so best time to drive. This answer, it really depends. You need to get familiar with your area. I would say do at least 200 rides, and you'll start to see patterns around your market area. You'll start to see the venues that are busy. One little secret, I wasn't going to share this, but I'll go ahead and tell you right now. If you have an airport and you are allowed to pick up the airport, check the arrival times. So maybe there's 20 flights coming in from afternoon to midnight. Well, that would be a great time to be there. Maybe there's 2 flights coming in between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Well, chances are you might not want to work that late, but hey, why not? If you got 2 flights coming in, you might be the only driver there. You take someone home, come right back to the airport pickup zone, do another one. So a lot of people will say, oh, Friday night or Saturday night, the weekend myth. So what happens is everybody logs in on that Friday night, and then there's just not as many rides to go around. So Friday, Saturdays may not really be the best times to drive. You just kind of have to get a feel for it. You'll learn how to log into the app, log into driver mode just for a few seconds to see the heat map. Uber now lets you see the heat map. even if you're not logged in driver mode. Lyft will probably, I think Lyft's doing that now too, but you can always see what the heat map is doing, right? And then you'll see what's busy. If you do drop someone off out in the middle of nowhere on the mountains or something, drive back to a somewhat busy area and wait. If you're way far away, you kind of put yourself at risk of getting another ride that's way, way far away, and you could be like here in Los Angeles. This typically happens when you're in the Hollywood Hills or in Beverly Hills. You drop someone off up on their house on the top of the hill. Hopefully they gave you a tip. And then you got 10 minutes to drive back down to the main drag, like Sunset or Hollywood Boulevard. And what happens is you get a request on the other side of the mountain. And then you got to drive through these zigzaggy roads, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. So when I drop off in a remote area, get back to a busy area right away. And then just park and wait. But I don't drive around in circles burning my gas. If you do take a break, leave the app on. I found I'll be needing to use the restroom, and as soon as I get in the restroom, that's when I get a request. Or maybe I'm wanting to grab a snack, grab some French fries or something. As soon as I order my food, that's when I get a request. So Murphy's Law. If you really need a request badly, go take a break and you'll get a request. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. When recruiting new drivers, I say don't recruit unless it's worth it. Check the bonus amounts on the website. Let's take a look at that right now. Here's the cities at the time I'm making this video that are currently offering promotions. So if you want to check this on the help section of the Lyft website, you can go up here and search for driver bonus, and that'll tell you which cities are currently doing a bonus. So you don't want to recruit someone, say in Atlanta, for just $50 and having to do 100 rides. I mean, you're only making an extra 50 cents per ride, right? That's a lot of work compared to, say, New York, where they're making an extra $5 per ride. So keep an eye on this, and you'll get a feel for when it's really good and when it's not so good. And like even in Los Angeles, where I live, there's not even a bonus right now. So I wouldn't recommend someone to sign up in LA unless they really just needed a side job and start making the money. If they're doing this for extra money above what they already make, they don't need the money that bad, whatever. So that's what the bonuses look like there on the Lyft website. And then Uber, I think they would have to type in your code to see what the bonus is. And if I look at my Uber link here, it's currently a $100 bonus for getting started with Uber, and I think that's 20 rides in your first 30 days, but of course check the fine print before you start driving. So you're referring a friend or someone new, I would confirm with them. I would ask them, hey, if you do this, are you going to commit to actually doing the required rides, 50 or 100 or whatever it is? Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting your time and money as far as getting that bonus goes. Yeah, they'll make some money doing the first few trips that they're doing, but you really do want to hit that bonus because it's double-sided. Also, I would suggest that you help that person learn what to look for. Maybe show them this video. Tell them about, any tips or secrets that you have to help them acclimate to this new job. A lot of people have never done anything like this, where they're being unsupervised and they're the ones in control, and they're basically driving a machine that could either help people or hurt people if they're not doing it properly. So I would help that new driver get started, help them learn how to be their best. That way they have every incentive to help get the bonus, and you'll be much happier that way. Improving as a driver. One thing you can do, this comes from Rideshare Harry, the rideshare guy. He suggests go and take a ride with Lyft or with Uber as a passenger, and then you'll instantly see what feels good and what doesn't. Oh, this car was dirty and sticky, the guy was talking too much, he took a wrong turn. You'll instantly see how to be a better driver based on what you experienced as a passenger. You can also follow me on YouTube and people like Uberman or Harry the Rideshare Guy. Forgive me if I didn't mention your name. But we also like to make updates on things. Like I just made a video about when is it okay to turn over double yellow. Well, there's lots of times where it's totally okay to do a left turn or a U-turn over double yellow, but most people don't know that. So go look for my new video on that one. Or there's a video about how Lyft is now cheaper than Uber in Los Angeles, but you can actually still make more money driving for Lyft. That's a very interesting one. So check out our videos and you can see how you can improve as a driver, okay? Compliance with the law. One thing let's do this one first. Always be nice to cops. They are people too. I dated a girl in college who ended up marrying a sheriff, and I said, hey, can you give me some tips on how to deal with cops? She said, yeah, talk to cops like they are real people, because that's what they are, and they have stressful jobs. Maybe you broke the law, maybe you didn't. You don't have to admit guilt right there, but do know what you're doing. I like to keep a DMV manual in my car and make sure that's for the current year. Driving over the speed limit when you have a customer, that's going to hurt your fare fractionally. Like maybe you're doing 70, 75 in a 65 zone. Well, you're cheating yourself out of the minutes, maybe 20, 25 cents, 30 cents a minute, whatever it is. You're costing yourself money and you're going too fast. So if you have an accident, the insurance company's going to want to know how fast you were driving, and they can measure this just by looking at the skid marks on the pavement. Yes, they really can do that. Also, your passenger may not feel safe if you're driving fast or taking turns too quickly or whatever the case is. So don't drive over the speed limit. A lot of people do to pick up their customer. They drive fast, and then once they have the customer in the car, then they like to drive slow. And here's a kind of a humorous image to illustrate that. So this is you driving to pick up your customer, driving way too fast, and this is you after you have the customer in the car. You're taking your sweet time, right? So anyhow, thought you might like that. Now, something interesting, I actually talked to a cop a while back to ask him a specific law about the rules of the road, and he actually wasn't sure of the answer. So I recommend have a DMV manual for the current year. If you have a question, Google it. Get on your cell phone. Know before it's too late, right? So, and if you're not sure, don't take the risk. Like, what about getting out of a carpool lane when it's a quadruple yellow? Is that okay? Or should you have to wait for a dotted yellow line? That's something you would want to know if you're driving people on the freeway, especially in a busy area. Also, I would keep your logos on your window for DUI checkpoints. Maybe you're just going out and you don't have any customers. I just keep my graphics on there when a cop sees that I'm an Uber driver. And some of them actually, I've seen me 3 times in one night. So they just, oh yeah, well, just come on through, buddy, no big deal. They don't stop you. You don't lose any time, especially if you have a passenger in the car, okay? Communicating with corporate. Talking to people that work for Uber or Lyft, they are people too, so be nice, be patient, don't email an issue in the same thing twice within 48 hours. You really do need to wait that long, especially like after New Year's, which we just had. You're going to have a lot of issues, people complaining about their fares being too high, all that stuff. But you do want to check to make sure that your email was sent. If you're with Uber, currently they don't have an 800 number to call, or they do, but it just tells you to email them. So that would be partners yourcity@uber.com. So here in Los Angeles, it's partnersla@uber.com. So you just have to know what your city is for that. And then with Lyft, you can use the help website or call the 800 number for emergencies only. So there we go. That was part 2. Thank you so much for sticking around to see what I've learned after 3,000 rides. If you like this video and you want some more great tips and some fun stories and seeing my Lyft adventures and my Uber adventures, search for Adam6177 on YouTube. Please subscribe, and I'll show you right here what it looks like. This is my channel. We got some great videos like the biggest mistake new rideshare drivers make, how you can still make more money working with Lyft right now if you're driving more than 30 hours a week in Los Angeles, even though Lyft is cheaper than Uber. Why customers tip you more when you have phone chargers and why that's so critical, how to sign up for Lyft in 1 minute, my personal message to the CEO of Uber. This one's a really fun, scary Halloween Lyft adventure we had. So check out the channel. I really appreciate you watching, and have a great day.